Today, our fight for survival begins.
Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Extinction Master Sentinel video walkthrough. This is the 21st mission called Long Live the King. And I didn't see the objectives just then, guys, so I hope you know them, because if you're coming to this for help, I'm certain you know exactly what they are, because you're having trouble with them. Much like I'm having trouble with my voice, so I apologise to anybody who doesn't like the timbre in these videos, but this is my job, you know. Just because my voice is compromised and my throat is not the best, and I should be resting it, doesn't mean I have the luxury always to do that. But alas, such is life. And it will heal, it will recover, and I will be back to sounding just as obnoxious and as annoying as I usually do. But we're taking down a gold fella here. Wow, I rolled and still took full damage just then. That was perhaps not a good roll on my part. I thought I was out of the radius of it, but apparently not. We get the killing strike off the pauldron. We're having trouble climbing his back, but there's 2 padlocks on his helmet, and then we can kill him. Wow, I missed! Damn, that's not good. Oh, he's gonna twat you, Chris. Be careful. There you go. Jump away, jump back, glide, get on the shoulder. There's the vulture spawning in. I'm having troubles right now. He will not grab his back. So once again, the automatic climbing gets another victory, another personal victory over me, and then we climb back up, take his helmet, and then take his head. Whoa, apparently not. What the fuck was that? Wow, that was a rarity. Anyway. Oh wow, the vulture hit me. What a scrub. So it wants us to kill 4 of these things before we do our mission, which means we have to focus on it. But a couple of jackals over here. Interesting name for all the generic scrub enemies, right? Jackals. Not a bad name. Interesting. And we have a dude with wooden armor and a club. So I was hoping that the weapons would have more significance with the giants, but they really don't. The weapons just give them the ability to have an increased range. That's it. You don't chop the weapons in half. You don't like clash between the weapons and have some kind of standoff or something interesting. They really don't change anything. It's kind of strange. What happened then? That was weird. Anyhow, can we chop his leg off, please? Come on, video game. It's interesting as well, isn't it, that they give you no freedom at all in how to cut. Like, you know, when you compare this to something like Metal Gear Rising, it just fundamentally falls apart. Because in Metal Gear Rising, the cutting was occasionally hit and miss, and it was quite particular and awkward until you learned how to use it correctly. But it trusted you to cut out. It let you cut anything. Whereas in this game, if you're millimeters off where it wants you to cut, it doesn't work. It doesn't register at all. And you can't even do partial cuts. You can't do, you know, damaging hits to slow them down. There's nothing really to it. Like, it'd be nice if you could do standard attacks to weaken. Like, imagine if you could break bone before you cut, so that you could, you know, stop him from using the limb, but the limb was still technically there. You know, there's all kinds of things they could have gone towards, and instead, you know, I don't know what they did. They did something. Maybe it looks really, really pretty in 4K, maybe it was that. But once again, coming up against dudes like this wearing bone armor or wooden armor or whatever it is, this is not going to stop us. Not once you get used to chopping, you know, the really difficult stuff. Like, when I say bone armor. Bone armor is the toughest armor in the game because it's awkward. And apparently that hit me too. Thanks for that, brother. Uh-oh, don't hit me. Please dodge, please dodge. Whew, that was close. So if you're not too sure what was happening just then and why that was a bit of a conundrum, is when you dodge in this game, you cannot dodge down or up. You can only dodge on the same level that you stood on the same parallel. So I was at the range there where his swipe could hit me, and I held the slow-mo as long as I could, so my character was falling. Because I can't control my up and down momentum too much. I can control my up momentum a lot, but my down momentum not so much. Like, if there was a ground stomp ability that could make me shoot down, like a dive kick, I could have done that, but I didn't. So I had to stall as long as possible before I dodged, or I would have taken a hit. And it's one of those things where it probably didn't look like much to somebody watching who hasn't played the game, but when you've played, you'll understand the predicament I was in just then. Because there's not many predicaments in this game where you have to make a choice like that. Because hopefully, if everything's going right and you're climbing the Raveni correctly and you're chopping them up and what have you, you don't get put in situations where you even have to make a choice. You're too busy wrecking them. But every so often, if the climbing doesn't do what it's supposed to do, or if you fuck up a cut or something along those lines, you can get put in a moment such as that. But here is a purple... Oh, there it was again! Did you see it? See the geometry dysmorphing on the attack animation? So, this is a purple guy who has strewn together armor from wood and padlock, which means he has the two weakest tiers of armor in the game. And I'm really curious as to if there's some kind of system that says, you know, this Revenai can have this amount of gear, or this quality gear, but no higher, and vice versa, things like that. Because on one of the final missions, the first few dudes that kept turning up had indestructible legs and bone arms and necks, and that's like the worst combination in the world, because they didn't have any fanny packs to hook on, so climbing them was awkward, because I had to climb up their arms. And climbing their arms without the help of something like a vulture can sometimes be really frustrating. Much like when you try to get a kill hit like that, and the detection doesn't work on the neck, so you just stand up like in mid-air, using rune mode for nothing. You know, it can get really frustrating. But the king likes what we did anyhow. There's our 4 Raveni kills, and then the only thing left to do now could potentially be to save civilians, so I guess we'll have to find out. But I'm hunting down these crystals. Here comes another one of the giants. Depending on if I go for him will depend on what the mission is. Am I going to go for him? I am. Interesting. Oh, is this a watchtower mission? Oh, if it's a watchtower mission, then it makes perfect sense. This guy also has one of the packs on the back. So this is like the friendliest Titan you could come across, because he has the fanny pack, and he has a ton of armor that can be broken quite easily. But it does make sense to think, right, that this game was going to have more than one weapon, and certain materials could only be cut with certain weapons, right? And depending on what the weapon was, would it depend on how you could use it. There could have been a weapon that you can only use when you're standing on the ground. Can you imagine that? Or a weapon that can only be used in the air. There could have been so much complexity, so much intricacy, but it never came. So another dude's turning up. This guy's a green guy with a wicked birthmark, and he's wearing padlock stuff, so second tier of armor on this fella. Let's break his lock. Like, why does the lock always in the same spot? Why does it never shift? They have generating levels, generating foliage, but they don't have generating armor. Even though they do, because once again, the random guys have randomly assigned armor. So it would be cool if there was some way to mix up the weak points on them. But then again, it'd be cool if you could fight them without having to chop off their armor. Like, it'd be cool if you could cut them in half. It'd be cool if there was a counter mechanic. It'd be cool if a million things, right? But they're just not there. So instead, it's just kinda cool instead of really cool. And I missed the second hit. That was bad. You don't often see that. So, just goes to show, guys, I'm just human. Chop his leg off. What? Come on now, video game. How did that even work? Weird. I'm curious to see how people like the dismemberment mechanic as well, because when I first saw it, I didn't like the visual look of how the dismemberments make the limb just instantly disappear. I personally would have liked to have seen it fall to the ground. Can you imagine if you could do shit with the limb? That would have been hilarious. Picking up his fucking limb and slapping him with it? Dude. That would have been the funniest stuff ever. Climbing his back with his own arm to smack him with his own arm. Why am I not a game developer? I don't even know. But anyway, we've got a killing blow, and we can finish him off. There's another guy just over there, but there's 36 seconds left on the clock, so I'm now going to power glide all the way across the map to see if I can stop this guy getting towards that tower. And see what he looks like. He is a purple dude, so notice how he has indestructible legs and gold armor on his arms. This guy's been in the really good discount bargain bin. He got the good armor. And he has no fanny pack, which means the only way to climb this fella is to hook onto the jewels on his braces and then hook onto his helmet, or climb a building and then get to him that way, or use the vultures. So this guy is a difficult giant to fell just because of his armor set. But guess what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to stand on him and I'm going to get him to scratch his back for the next 10 minutes because it's the best way to stop them from going to the objective, and we just won. 7 minutes, protected the watchtowers, and we got our bonuses. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope the guide is helping, and as always, you take care now.